The dismissal letter was still warm from the printer when Noah Mercer folded it with trembling hands and slipped it into the inside pocket of his worn jacket. Outside the towering glass building, the bright morning sun flooded the streets, but to him, the world had suddenly become cold and silent. Only an hour earlier he had walked into work believing he was about to receive recognition for another successful project. Instead, he had been escorted out by security while co-workers avoided meeting his eyes. A single father who had spent every waking hour trying to provide a better future for his little daughter had just lost everything he had worked for. What hurt even more was knowing he had done nothing wrong. As he stood on the sidewalk watching employees rush past him, his phone buzzed with a reminder that his daughter's school tuition was due the next morning. He looked toward the sky, swallowed the lump in his throat, and whispered to himself that somehow he would find a way. If stories about kindness, courage, and second chances inspire you, we hope you'll stay with this journey and share your thoughts after you've experienced the ending. Noah was 37 years old, a quiet man whose greatest achievement had never been his career. It was raising 8-year-old Lily alone after losing his wife Emily to a sudden illness 5 years earlier. Every morning began before sunrise. He prepared breakfast, braided Lily's hair after teaching himself through countless online tutorials, packed her lunch with handwritten notes, and then hurried to work before the office lights flickered on. His co-workers knew him as dependable, honest, and impossible to provoke. They rarely knew how exhausted he really was because he believed his daughter deserved to see hope instead of hardship. Even when bills piled up on the kitchen table, he smiled at Lily and promised that tomorrow would always be brighter. The company had been Noah's second home for nearly 12 years. He never chased promotions or office politics. While others competed for titles, he quietly solved problems nobody else wanted to touch. His innovations saved the company millions of dollars, but someone else often accepted the applause. Noah accepted that life was rarely fair. What mattered was stability for Lily. Unfortunately, stability disappeared the moment a group of ambitious executives needed someone to blame for financial mistakes they had secretly created. Rather than admitting their own failures, they fabricated reports suggesting Noah had authorized risky decisions. The investigation lasted less than 2 days. Nobody asked for his side of the story. By Friday morning, his employee badge had been disabled, his office emptied into a cardboard box, and his reputation destroyed. The hardest part came when Noah reached home. Lily opened the front door with her usual excitement, holding a colorful drawing she had made at school. She proudly explained that it showed their family standing beneath a giant rainbow because rain never lasted forever. Noah forced a smile as tears threatened to escape. He hugged her tighter than ever before and silently thanked heaven that children often believed in miracles before adults remembered how. That evening Noah searched endlessly through job listings, sending applications despite knowing most employers would hesitate to hire someone recently accused of professional misconduct. Hours passed without success. As midnight approached, his savings account revealed only enough money for rent and groceries for a few weeks. Fear settled over him like a heavy blanket. Then he remembered something he had almost forgotten. Several years earlier, Noah had quietly helped an elderly client named Harrison Cole when a complicated systems failure threatened to bankrupt Harrison's manufacturing business. Noah stayed through an entire holiday weekend without charging overtime because he believed helping people mattered more than policies. Harrison never forgot that act of kindness. Before they parted, he handed Noah a business card with a handwritten note on the back that simply read, "If life ever corners you, call me." Noah stared at the faded card resting inside an old notebook. Pride told him to throw it away. Desperation told him otherwise. After several deep breaths, he dialed the number. The voice answering sounded older but immediately recognized Noah's name. Harrison listened patiently without interrupting while Noah explained everything from beginning to end. There was a long silence before Harrison quietly thanked him for finally calling. Noah apologized for disturbing him, unaware that Harrison had recently become chairman of the very investment group that now owned the majority of shares in Noah's former company. Harrison asked only one question. He wanted to know whether Noah had truly been honest. Noah answered without hesitation that he had never betrayed the company or his principles. Harrison believed him instantly because honest people often recognize honesty in others. The following morning the company's executive floor buzzed with unexpected tension. Emergency meetings were called without explanation. Financial records, archived emails, and security logs were suddenly requested by independent auditors. Executives who had once laughed confidently now struggled to explain disappearing documents and conflicting reports. Nobody knew Harrison himself had ordered the investigation after a single phone call. Meanwhile, Noah spent the day walking across town searching for temporary work. He delivered resumes to